Telecel, Just a Touch, UMB Bank, UMB Speed Up, DigiBank, Let's Go, Mark Auto Parts Ghana, distributors of Isuzu and Chevy vehicles, Mark Auto Parts Ghana, with you for the long run. In this edition, Joy News checks review more than 5 pregnant women in some communities in the northern region have died this month alone due to deplorable roads and collapsed bridges worsened by floods.
I'm very sad because I have lost my wife and my baby at the same time.
We'll be live in the region as the Ghana Health Service assures a health facility in the community where a pregnant woman lost her baby after being ferried across the river will be made operational. Association of Ghana Industries wants Banks of Ghana or Bank of Ghana to focus on building confidence in financial sector as they say their members have been hit with panic withdrawals.
Panic withdrawal may have had. We expect Bank of Ghana to also come out and give more confidence to businesses and to individuals that the banking sector is not collapsing.
Also, cries over high rent advance will bring you the story of how many are unable to rent decent accommodation because of 2 years and more advance payment. We'll bring you more as some landlords have been defending their actions. In sports.
Now, the Referees Association of Ghana has revealed names of more than 70 members, some of them handed lifetime bans, 10-year suspensions and also 14 exonerated after investigating the Annax expose.
We'll get to hear from Kojo Annan later in the bulletin, son of former UN Secretary General, and his family say they will feel honored and privileged to have some key institutions named after their family member Kofi Annan.
Anything that promotes what he's done or what he stands for, family would feel honored and privileged that the Ghanaians think this way about him.
We'll bring you more as the immediate family members of Mr. Annan leave Ghana and much later. Man allegedly steals toilet rolls from Parliament House. Vice Chairman of Parliament's Interior Committee is pushing for punitive sanctions against him. We'll get to hear from him and more on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apo.
I'm here. I'm going to buy bread. Obi be wo. This say the motor cross so ansa ya fani pana wa wo no ansa na twom. Mo he bra asa yanka Ghana ho ana. Mbra mo so ma si hospital
Sounds of an unhappy resident of Nangruma in the Mamprugu Moeduguri district of the northern region lamenting how a pregnant woman had to be ferried across the river to the nearest hospital because of a broken bridge and also because a health facility in the community completed in 2015 remains closed. The woman, Doris, subsequently lost her baby and her husband. She's been telling Joy News how she's been narrating the sad ordeal on how she lost her baby due to the deplorable roads.
I'm having a pregnancy and I want to born, and there is no any road to even take me to hospital to born because it was raining. All the river is full. There's no any place even to pass and go to hospital and have a labor. I suffer a lot before we reach there. Oh, I didn't get my child because how I suffered on the road. The road is not fine. All the roads is water. It pains me a lot because you cannot carry a pregnancy for 9 months and you, because of the road that you lost your baby. We are pleading the government to come and do the road for us and then open the facility because somebody may lose your life.
So that's the ordeal of a mother there. Well, on Saturday, another pregnant woman lost her life in Namo in the Mamprugu Moeduri district. She fell off a motorbike on which she was being transported on to the hospital. Her husband, Yidada Bugri, says government must work at averting similar deaths by fixing the roads.
It was around 5 p.m.
It was around 5 p.m. when my wife felt pains and we decided to take her to the hospital on a motorbike. It took us several hours to get to cross the river. Because of the bad nature of the roads, she fell down from the bike. When we finally got to the hospital, she had passed away. I'm very sad because I have lost my wife and my baby at the same time. Even though it is the will of God, I will say it is the bad nature of the roads, compounded by the floods that caused my wife's death. Government must listen to our plight and address our concerns.
So residents in these two communities are enraged. They question why they've been neglected, even though they continue to pay taxes.
The open house school is more than 2 weeks now, and then I'm still on the way coming because of the water. Water is full on the way. And since yesterday, I walk up to Kubon, and I'm getting some tractor to enter. I'm not able to get proper car to enter. And then I'm still on the way. Even some of the tractor cannot pass through Makargo to Kubari. If you do not walk and come to Kubari, you will not get car to go.
The term for this school resumed on 11th of September 2018. We were supposed to report here last week, but due to the conditions that we heard happening at this place, we couldn't come early because they said flood has taken over the whole district. For example, they mentioned places like Sakpaba. Our teachers who are there are yet to come.
You heard there some residents. So what are authorities in charge actually doing about this? Listen to the solution proffered by Director General of the Ghana Health Service when he spoke on the Super Morning Show today.
The facility is not fully completed. We have asked the regional director who met us at Tamale Airport yesterday that he should give us a comprehensive report, not of only that facility, but all facilities, the different stages of completion. Unfortunately, there are a lot of facilities dotted in the country which are all in the different stages of completion. We want to get to know all of them. We have it. I want to update it and then ask for the necessary financial inputs to complete it and equip it so that we will send staff there to go and work. But luckily, the woman is still alive. So I will tell the family to take heart while we in Ghana Health Service and the Ministry of Health, for that matter, look at ways of making sure that all these facilities are completed. Because even putting up a hospital doesn't take such a long time that putting up a small health centers and chip centers from 2015 have not been equipped and completed and used.
So you heard that Dr. Nsiasari is the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. We had arranged to speak to the Northern Regional Minister, Salifu Said. As and when we are able to raise him, we'll speak to him on this issue. But let's take you to Botame in the Volta region now. That's where residents are drinking from a dirty, untreated source of water, which they also share with cattle. They are pleading with government to provide potable water for them. They tell my colleague Maxwell Agbagba they are stuck between the dirty water and bags of sachet water for their daily needs.
This is what is happening. Some children wading in the stagnant water here. We also have some washing going on. And just gone by, we had some cattle also drinking from the same source. The banks is also littered with cow dung.
I've met a surveyor, Maxwell Lukuto, at his family house in Otame. He was born and bred here. His mother pours out a gallon of some of the untreated water into a big pot behind him. Maxwell says the water situation in the community has persisted for decades.
We buy water from these tricycle operators who use the yellow gallons, go to the Volta River, fetch the raw water and come and sell to our people. We have the Kasangle Dam. ASIP constructed that dam basically for agricultural purposes. That has been the source of drinking water for most of the people. But with the advent of pure water, those who can afford buy pure water for drinking. But those who can't still go with the brown water that is available. We are appealing to the MPP government that as a matter of urgency, they should look at the water situation of the people of Potame and its environment.
I've now met the chairman of the Concerned Youth Association of Potame, Moses Kofi Sam. He says all their protests to get water have so far not yielded any results.
Before the voting, we wrote here, no water, no vote. If you build story building, about 7 or 10 story buildings for Potama community, you have done nothing to Potama. But if Potama have water, your name will be praised.
So from Potame, let's head to Mafia Kokok because residents here now have potable water. They've also been supplied with sachet water following a Joy News report which highlighted how residents were being forced to drink from a muddy source with fears it could negatively impact their health. Relief is getting to the community now. Joseph Opoku Gakpo has more as part of Joy News' Safe Water project.
This is how the water looks like. Unclean, brownish, muddy, as thick as porridge. Sticks and tree branches lie in them with bubbles brewing all over it. It's actually mad. But guess what? They drink it like that, without any form of treatment. That's the story Joy News told about 2 months ago on the plight of Akukokbo residents. The district assembly responded by occasionally supplying sachet water to the community so they don't have to rely on the dirty source. The pure water is what we are drinking now. We still don't have flowing water yet. The Tongu Residents Association has provided a poly tank to the community as a short-term measure and is working with the fire service to frequently supply the residents with potable water. The tank is here, that's all. It hasn't been filled with water yet. An NGO, Water for Rural Africa, has been in the community to drill a borehole there. But the poor nature of the road made it difficult moving equipment to the community. They are waiting until the dry season to do so.
So that's Joseph Opoku Gakpo's report there from Mafi Akokoko. This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Now to some other stories. There's heavy security at the campuses of the University of Education, Winneba, ahead of the swearing-in of Reverend Father Professor Anthony Afo-Bruni as the new Vice-Chancellor of the university later this afternoon. There's been controversy over the legality of the induction process following concerns raised by some lecturers at the university, as well as law professor Raymond Atuguba, who says President Akufo-Addo will be abetting an illegality if he goes ahead with the planned induction. Presenting reasons for his objection to the induction ceremony in an elaborate piece, Professor Atuguba says a case pending at the Supreme Court challenging the removal of former Vice-Chancellor Professor Mauto Avoke makes a travesty to the rule of law for the president to partake in the ceremony. My colleague Raymond Akwa joins me in studio with details of that article written by law professor Raymond Atuguba. So Raymond, for those who might have not followed, let's bring a background to the story.
So first and foremost, we know that former Vice-Chancellor Professor Mauto Avoke, together with 6 other principal officers of the university, were removed by the governing council of the school. Now, in August 2018, the then acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Afo-Bruni, actually, he was appointed as a substantive Vice-Chancellor. His appointment came weeks after 5 of the principal officers of the institution were dismissed. First removed, that's suspended, then dismissed, together with the then Vice-Chancellor, Professor Mauto Avoke. Now, prior to the dismissal, Winneba High Court in 2017 had ordered Professor Avoke to step aside until a case brought against him and the University's council was determined. The order was made in the case brought before the court by one Supi Kofi Kwaira, who insisted that the Vice-Chancellor and the finance officer were operating under the institution's defunct governing council. However, before the substantive claims were looked into, the university through its lawyers applied to the court to dismiss this suit, but the application was then dismissed. Now, the High Court subsequently found Professor Avoke and the school's finance officer, Dr. Teophilo Senyo Akoli, guilty of procurement and other financial irregularities. The court subsequently ordered the retrieval of all the monies paid to the contractors of the North Campus roads and the forensic audit of the projects. The dismissal of officials, Professor Avoke and the 6 others, they maintained that their dismissal was baseless. In fact, they released a press release that said that the embattled officials were saddened by the public perception of their silence on the matter. They've noticed there's a lot of misinformation on social, print, and electronic media about this matter, and that they were heading to court. Now, along the line, the Minister in charge of Tertiary Education, Professor Kwesi Anka, said he's not sure of the University of Education's governing council's mode and the way they dismissed the former Vice-Chancellor, and others were in line with the due regulations of the school. So there's a case which today will be heard in court.
Okay.
Again, today is also the day, and this
for
case
the
is
induction.
So
what are the concerns raised by Professor Atuguba in this latest article?
Okay, Professor Atuguba is worried that if the president proceeds to be part, and the president will be there as special guest of honor, not induct the president to office, actually. So if the president proceeds to join this, he would have contributed support and legality which goes on at the school's induction. There's a case already pending at the Supreme Court challenging the removal of Professor Avoke from office as Vice-Chancellor. In fact, he believes that this makes it travesty of the rule of law if the president proceeds to go there. He has other things he's been saying too. In fact, some of the reasons he gave are pretty clear. He said this: when a change of government occurred in January 2017, a certain cabal, and I'm quoting him, for lack of a better word, that's associated with the Winneba School, saw this as an opportunity to change principal officers. And he believes that the removal is some way. After acting as a lawyer for the victims of this move, I can only conclude that the only reason for their removal was ethnocentric.
Okay, and we'll get more details of that article in our subsequent bulletin. But Van Bovin, Swansea ACN, is law lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. He says as far as the University of Education has not been served an injunction, there's nothing wrong with the process.
Certainly. And the caveat is that unless the university has been served with an injunction prohibiting it from going ahead with this particular induction exercise, the university is always free to go ahead, because the law says that the mere issuance of a writ, and by extension I would understand this to mean that the mere fact that there are pending proceedings in respect of a case does not prevent the parties in the case or any of the parties from exercising their right thereto. So long as whatever has been purported to be done could always be set aside by a court of competent jurisdiction, that party, I believe, is free to go ahead. Okay. One thing I would quickly add is that, one cardinal principle about the grant of injunction is that there must have been irreparable damage, or irreparable damage is likely to be caused, for which reason nothing could be done in compensation thereof. But so long as the act could be set aside, so long as the party involved could be compensated adequately or otherwise, then the act, in my view, according to my understanding of the law, could always be done.
That's it. You heard Van Bowen, he's a lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba. You're still listening to the Midday News on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, news reaching us is that Zoom Lion truck workers have withdrawn their services within the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And that's coming amid claims by the Assembly that Zoom Lion failed to give prior notification. We've been joined on the line by the AMA boss, Mohammed Nia So thank you very much for your time here on the Midday News. So give us some more details as to this. What is the reason for the withdrawal of their services? Do we know?
Well, thank you very much. We have an arrangement with the Zoom Lion company. They are one of the companies that is in charge of the household waste collection. But they are also in charge of the street sweeping under the YEA model. So all the streets in Accra and beyond are technically supposed to be claimed by Zoom Lion company. And also they provide additional service to us at AMA in collecting the waste from the major markets at our cost. This morning, without any notification, their workers have laid down their tools, and that has led to the pile-up of refuse in town. We want to be transparent with the people of Accra that the pile of refuse that we've seen in town is not as a result of our inefficiency, but it's because of this problem. As I speak to you now, we are in town. We have hired some trucks, and we have deployed them to collect the refuse. But we also want to appeal to the management of Zoom Lions to resolve their problems so they come back to work, because sanitation matters are an essential service to the country.
But clarify for us, does the AMA owe them?
Does the AMA owe them?
Yes.
Technically, we don't owe them, because on street sweeping, they have an arrangement under the YEA, and they are supposed to sweep the streets of Accra and beyond. With additional responsibility, that comes at a cost. And as I can tell you confidently that on Friday, we advanced money to them. So it is not a problem between AMA and Zoom Lion. It's a problem between the Zoom Lion workers and their management. And I want to believe that they will quickly resolve that problem.
But in the interim, what will be the impact of this action on sanitation in the metropolis, for instance?
Well, because it was Monday, we had an issue of a pile of refuse in the morning. But as I speak to you now this afternoon, if you go around town, we've deployed our trucks and rented some fuel trucks as well to be able to collect the waste from town. But that comes at an additional cost to us. We are hoping that it will not continue, so that we'll bring the situation to normalcy, hopefully by tomorrow.
But have you contacted management of Zoom Lion already? And what have they been telling you?
We had informed them, and they are meeting with their people.
We are grateful for your time. That's the AMA boss, Mohammed Ni Ajay Soa. We'll take a quick break here on the Midday News. When we return, we'll be talking about rent issues and advancement issues. We'll hear from some landlords as well. Also, we'll hear from son of former UN Secretary General Kojo Annan, who says his family will feel honored and privileged to have some key institutions named after his father, Kofi Annan.
Anything that promotes what he's done or what he stands for, family would feel honored and privileged that the Ghanaians think this way about him.
And later, man allegedly steals toilet rolls from Parliament House. Vice Chair of Parliament's Interior Committee is pushing for punitive sanctions against him as the ministry's police investigates the issue. We're right back after the break.
That is a sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mack. Yes, Mack Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pockets. Mack Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website mackghana.com. Mack Ghana, with you for the long run.
Thanks for staying with us here on the Midday News. Time now for the latest from the world of sports. Ridwan, how are you?
Yes, thank God we're coming back from another weekend where we saw action, especially in boxing, where it was Triple G versus Canelo. Canelo won, unanimous decision. Talking point was if really the Mexican dominated that bout. There's more talk on what happened at the weekend and also looking forward to what we have this week. Champions League coming up from Tuesday night and also on Wednesday here on your slate, Joy 99.7 FM. We'll bring you live commentary of the group stage matches. But first, for lunch, it's been 3 months after the premiere of the number 12 documentary by Ace investigative journalist Anas Armiyawa Anas, where among others, referees were captured accepting bribes. Now, the Referee Association of Ghana, RAG, looked into the matter and has handed 10-year suspensions to 53 members who appeared in the video. 800 lifetime bans and also more than a dozen exonerated. Benedicto Usu has more.
14 referees were exonerated as there were no evidence whatsoever that they accepted money as alleged. The 14 are Esther Awo Deche, Prince Kofi, Wiseman Gansa, Joseph Lai, Edward B. Kwei, Solomon Morde, Joseph Ayambila, Freeman Awulo, Charles Ablo, Eku Boaten, Latif Adari, Yakubu Nuhu Liman, Al-Hassan Yaya, and Emurana Salifu. In addition, active and retired members who were also found culpable for seriously breaching various portions of disciplinary code of ethics and regulations of the football controlling bodies by their actions and inactions are hereby banned for life with immediate effect from all RAG, that's a Referees Association of Ghana, and football-related activities involving referee. And the 8 are David Lai, Reginald Lutbridge, Safo Adade, Samuel Suka, Dali Gagba, Fruela Bami, Charles Dowuna, and Omar Tenny.
That's all time we'll allow is for midday, but there's more at 1 p.m. with
We certainly will tune in. Ridwan Ibrahim Asante there with the latest from the world of sport. Now, if you start right, you certainly have a great chance of getting it right. In our latest hotline documentary on right age enrollment, produced by MFA Atiamwa Eli, we'll tell you the story of a 23-year-old modeling Ifia Aqua, who is currently an auditor with KPMG. Modeling started school at the right age and so got a head start over her peers. Excerpts of the Launchpad documentary.
Modeling started school at age 4, completed university at age 22, and secured her first job a few months after. Modeling is now 23 and an auditor with the international accounting and auditing firm KPMG. Modeling believes it is her confidence which gave her an upper hand over her colleagues who she competed with for the same position. She attributes this confidence to her days in early grade school.
You know, at that age, you do a lot of group work. You do stage plays. You do Christmas, how do they call it? Christmas festivities. All those things help. You'll be thinking that the child will have to study a poem for several days, recite it, rehearse. It helps in building the child's confidence. It helps in building the child's retentive memory. It helps the child to socialize.
Sharing her experience in early grade school, Maudlin says those moments are very critical and should not elude any child.
Tune in to the Joy News channel on Multi TV at 8:30 p.m. for the concluding part of the launch part aimed at promoting right age enrollment. Now, son of former United Nations General Secretary Kojo Annan says his family will be honored and privileged to have some key institutions named after his father, Kofi Annan. Speaking to Joy News some minutes before the family left Ghana, Kojo stated anything Ghanaians deem fit to immortalize his father will be an honor for the family. Maxwell Agbagba was at the airport Sunday evening and now reports.
Here at the Kotoka International Airport. In some minutes, they'll be boarding a flight back to Switzerland. It's a KLM flight. We have the wife of the former UN Secretary General. We also have a son, Kojo Annan. We also have Ama Annan. Also here, we had the First Lady of Ghana coming here to see them off. I've been speaking to the son of Kofi Annan, Kojo Annan, who has been talking about calls to name some key institutions after his father. At the funeral grounds, when I spoke to Ranking Member of Parliament's Foreign Affairs Committee, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, he called for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs building to be named after Kofi Annan. There are also numerous calls for the Legon Center for International Affairs and Diplomacy to be named after Kofi Annan.
We hope that his work has already put him in a very special pantheon in terms of the work he's done in the world, but anything that the people wish or feel is suitable for him, it will be an honor and a privilege.
Kojo Annan, the son of Kofi Annan. Now, finally, just before we go, Vice Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee is pushing for sanctions against a suspected thief who allegedly stole toilet rolls from the Parliament House. The suspect was arrested on Thursday after he allegedly stole more than 24 pieces of tissue paper from a warehouse on the premises where bulk supplies are stored. Collins Owusu-Amankwa says it doesn't matter what he stole, he should be sanctioned.
When I heard the said story, I thought it was a joke. But having gone through it, I realized that it is purely thievery, which is against the laws of this land. And I think Section 125 of the Criminal Offences Act is clear on that. Why should you sneak into an authorized room to steal? We should allow the law to take its own course. I understand people are saying this is just a toilet roll and we should tamper justice with mercy. But I must say that once he has been found, foul of the law, we should allow the law to take its own course. We should all follow the law in every step of the way.
Let's hope the law is followed every step of the way indeed. That's Vice Chairman of Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee, Collins Owusu-Amankwa. What are you talking about on social media? Maps has the details.
Hashtag Monday Motivation, that's what people are talking about. And at Farah Hassan says, always walk through life as if though you have something new to learn, and you will. Hashtag Monday Motivation. And at Kumson_21 says, your feelings are valid. You are enough. You do not need anyone's approval. Hashtag Monday Motivation. And the last tweet is from at Anele Maklinga, who says, hashtag Monday Motivation. I challenge you, give more than you take, smile more than you worry, trust more than you doubt. Today, I challenge you to be better than yesterday. Hashtag Monday Motivation.
Good advice there. Thank you very much, Maps. And that's it for the Midday News. We must apologize for our inability to bring you the AGI story and, of course, the rent issues. It will come up definitely in our subsequent bulletins. I am Emefa Apau. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Enjoy your week.